right, mate. Episode 10.
Yeah.
Season wrap.
Yeah, season wrap. It's come around fast.
It has.
And we've learnt a lot.
We have. I'm still deep in that process of learning at the minute.
Yeah, but I think we can be super proud of ourselves for a start. But yeah, this has been a really cool experience. And I think the purpose of us doing a bit of a wrap is talk about, we've met some interesting characters. Some we knew, some we thought we knew.
Yeah.
And then some industry experts. And it's just us probably finding our feet as to how this format's going to go going forward, right?
Totally. I mean, stoked. I can't believe we've actually got a season out. We've got 10 episodes.
Yep.
You know what I'm like. I just run at things and hope they work.
Yeah.
And you can see it's already progressed. Like it's looking better, it's sounding better. The chat's getting a bit more fluid. Being honest, I'm not shy, but I was definitely a lot more nervous on the first few episodes.
Oh, mate, I tell you what, and as I say, I think I've been completely underutilized in this combination of ours. So I'm going to interview you. I'm not going to interview you, but I'm going to ask you a couple of things, because I think one thing that we found out throughout this whole experience is you have a real natural ability to interview and to have normal conversations. It's shit chat, but it's actually some good structure. And I've got to give you credit, mate, that obviously, when you have been talking about serious stuff, and we've brought out some really interesting topics across the guests that we've had, and some really good lads and mates of ours who got really honest on here. A lot of mental health chat, a lot of struggle street stuff.
Yeah.
And I know your natural sense is to make light of some of those things, not make light of the situation, but to bring it.
Yeah. I do.
And you hung in there to be able to sort of like see the the good sense in people, super sensitive when it needed to be, but then obviously was able to run with it with a bit of a laugh as well. So well done, mate. You did a really shit hot job. I'm really proud of you.
Bloody appreciate that, mate. Yeah, I'm just doing my thing. I think I genuinely believe that it's important for guys out there, and I've been in that situation, just to hear that you're not the only one dealing with these issues, good or bad. We're all in the shit together, essentially.
Yeah. And I think that was the main thing that I got out of it as well, is that you kind of see yourself in these guys.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if you've been in business 20 years or whatever senior role, or, wherever you're starting in the industry, everybody's been through the human condition, which is going through the self-doubt thing, going through the motions, but also there's light at the end of the tunnel. And I think we highlighted the network and the support and the power of connection.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And you've got to remember as well, whether you're new in business or you're old in business, we're both sort of navigating through the same economic climates at the minute, which is, proving to be quite a challenge. And I think we're going to go through it again this year. Yeah. So it's just about making people feel like they're not alone. We're here to help if we can. And just, we're a group. So
any highlights stand out for you specifically?
Oh, I think I wouldn't like to point at a particular guest, but I think the thing that surprised me is how much. So everybody, when they come in, getting towards these last few episodes, I'm quite comfortable, and I forget how nerve-wracking it can be for people. Turn the camera on, get the mics on, and shit.
Takes them probably 5 or 10 just to sort of drop it. Yeah,
and then when they're into it, they really open up. And as I said, some of the guys who I thought would just be taking the piss and having a right good laugh with, we've done that. Yeah. But then they've gone pretty deep and dark.
Yeah, and I think you lead them into that, right? Because they feel comfortable with you. And what I've seen is that not only have we sort of created a really safe space for people to be themselves and be upfront, but the reaction at the other end has been massive too. So totally. I know you've been pulling some stats around our listeners, and on the different different platforms and formats and stuff. So how do we pull up for the sort of 9 or 10 episodes?
So it's pretty funny when you start distributing a podcast, because I'm used to social media numbers. Which are astronomical compared to, you're only investing 45 seconds, not 45 minutes, you know? So at first I was like, it's pretty slow, but I was sort of looking them up and I was like, okay, we're going all right as a general trend for a new podcast. And then it's just exponentially grown. So season 1, we've had nearly 8,000 listens across all platforms, which is bloody good, and pretty good retention as well.
Yeah.
Not just people listening for 5 seconds, it's...
Can you tell if they've listened to one or they've listened to multiple?
Yeah, I can see that. I can see how long generally people have listened for. Really good. And just the feedback as well.
Yeah.
Few comments here and there on the actual platforms, but a lot of it's been phone calls, people seeing you out in public.
Oh, you've been recognised, mate.
Yeah.
I know, you're a celeb.
Oh, yeah, major.
No one's bought you a beer yet, though, and it's not working.
But yeah, no, really, like, even at weekend, I was sat there and one of the lads just texted me saying, been listening to the podcast, bloody enjoying it, keep up the good work. And it's stuff like that because, as we know, we sit in our little box, we make this stuff, we put it out, and you've no idea whether people like it or they just think you're fucking idiots until they actually come
and
back
it's not
and tell
just
you.
New Zealand now, which is funny. As I was in Aussie a couple of weeks ago at an industry conference, and I was talking to one of the supplier guys there, and he's based in Sydney, and he's just like, sweet podcast, bro.
Mate.
And I was like, that's pretty cool. That was unsolicited. Yeah. So, it's certainly firing itself around. And I think, we sort of targeted this at, our industry and Sparkies in particular. Yeah. But it's getting picked up from all over the place. And I think those central messages are pretty relevant across the board, right?
Yeah, and that's the idea, because I think there is a bit of a gap in the market for media like this, particularly in New Zealand, because I think the podcasts that are aimed at tradies and electricians are very straight down the barrel, technical, serious. And that's great, and there's definitely a place for it, but I just wanted ours to be a bit more appealing to the wider audience, so it's cross-relatable issues, laughs, and you don't want to listen to some dry podcast on site. You want to try and have a giggle with them. Yeah,
for sure. Well, I think the impact has been pretty cool. Yeah, it definitely, we think about, even just the sound quality. What we were out of control in that first episode.
I've struggled. I mean, I've just spent 10 minutes now, 15 minutes
just trying to plug shit in.
Oh, yeah.
But the thing is, I think about, we took maybe 25 takes for our intro.
Oh,
when we did our trailer. Remember, that's not the original trailer. Yeah. Which you should probably find the fucking state of the first one.
Hello.
And the mics were different and everything. And we're in a different room, and it was a totally different gig. And you've got to shout out to Hales as well, who's been mixing at the back there, and it's been bloody good.
And she's been some of the biggest laughs in it, mate.
Yeah, we're going to have a mic on her at all times. Yeah. Because some of those barbs are pretty mean.
Yeah,
and mean. But, it's bloody good. And so I think, we'll know what we're doing for next time.
Totally. Even yourself, mate, from my perspective, you're a natural speaker. You're quite polished and out to be like, not doing a fucking 1950s radio show here, mate.
And we're back.
Yeah.
Tay Grinley, 3 News.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I know, I get it. And the thing is, we naturally chat anyway.
Yeah.
But you sort of, as you said, when people come in here and they sit down and you see the red light and we've got all this, that you sort of feel like you're on.
Yeah, the lights.
But you don't need to. And that's the best thing is that format is the best for that. And it should just be a chat. Totally. The cool thing is from a feedback perspective, like you were saying, everyone sort of, the one thing that I'm getting consistently is can't wait to see who you're going to have on next.
Yeah, the guests, and particularly Sparkies have been very popular,
Yeah. Or just characters, even, as I say, Ronnie, even though it was quite a, stiff yarn about sort of numbers and stuff, we got into a bit of nonsense with him, which is even
lovely
better.
Guy as well.
But these are personalities that sort of live within our realm or in our ecosystem of network and stuff that, we've got a heap of people that we can tap up, and I think, that'll be probably a focus for our next season.
I've certainly got a short list of guests in the back pocket for next season.
We've got a long list.
So yeah, we'll get on with that. And I think the thing that I'm finding is, one, it's great for me because I hate doing it, but unedited is best. Unless there's something I genuinely need to take out. Yeah. For legal reasons or just general.
Just brand reputation is a major.
I don't edit them. I mean, we've seen it even on the intros and outros where we're like, Oh, we mocked that
the
right
fuck
up.
was that?
Leave it in.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Gives it a bit of
And that's the
character.
thing is like, we've managed to sort of pepper in there some fairly horrendous life stories.
Yeah.
Most of them are yours, which is great. And so, yeah, I think we keep all that stuff in. The feedback, as I say, and we want people to utilise the platforms to write in, and actually we want to use the comments way more.
Yeah.
And I think for next season as well, is we want to call out some of the genuine, the listeners, and we're getting some really good social comment.
Totally.
But let's actually utilise our audience now, and we can bring them into the show, which would be cool.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. And if we do start getting that interaction on the comments or people writing in or whatever, if there's some funny shit in there, we'll feature it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, have to.
But also just feedback on like what are we doing good? What are we not? What do you want to hear? What's boring as shit?
Yeah.
So
I think, as I say, we try and get a bit of a mix of really interesting guests. We want to try and get some real topical stuff as well, and I don't want to turn it too serious, but we want to work with the likes of master electricians. We want to talk to EWRB. We want to talk to industry heavyweights that we know are influencing our space. Yeah. And just to get it from the horse's mouth. Sometimes, there's a lot of speculation and bullshit that goes on out in the market, and our individual sparkies that we talk to are impacted differently. Yeah. Sometimes it's good to go straight to the source, and we've got the network to do it.
Well, that's another sort of aspect of what we're trying to do is demystify the industry a little bit.
So much weird stuff going on.
Oh yeah, it's smoke and mirrors and a few backhanders, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think with it being the last episode, we've got a couple of Mayhem Fishing Lures here.
Oh, yep.
If you want to go out there and chase some bloody marlin. So we're going to give these away. We're going to make it real simple. First 2 comments on any platform gets them. So first comment gets one, second comment gets one.
Just try and say something nice.
Yeah. If it's an insult, I'll give you both.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you just comment and make sure we can get in touch with you, and we'll fire these out to you.
A few more giveaways for next time. We're going to have a bit of a break now. So I think this will go out on Wednesday, which will be our last one. Probably for, I don't know,
month.
Probably give us 4 to 6 weeks, I reckon, and we'll get a few in the can and just make sure our format's bang on. But as I say, in the meantime, everyone knows how to get hold of us, and we'd love to hear your ideas around, what you'd like to see, who you'd like to see.
If anybody's got a story to tell or an opinion.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Get in touch and come on.
Yeah, there's a lot of people doing a lot of other cool shit outside of our work stuff.
Yeah,
so if you're doing something interesting in your life, it'd be really interesting to hear about. There's definitely, like, we're heading into winter. Some people are on some, I'm on a mad weight loss journey at the moment, just trying to get myself back together. And I know a lot of people have got, some pretty inspirational and inspiring stories out there that we can share.
Everyone's up to shit.
Yeah, man, we just got to pump people up and make sure that we live in a positive space, and hopefully that's keeping people going when it's tough out there.
Totally, mate.
Yeah.
Totally. I'd just like to wrap this one up by saying anybody who's been on the podcast, anybody who has supported it, or anybody who's listening, really thank you from the bottom of our hearts.
Absolutely, mate.
It's been a bit of a labour of love. We've loved every minute of it, though. But yeah, no, really, really appreciate it. So
we'll have some clips together of some of the absolute ridiculous stuff that popped out of all of this things.
I'll be putting out some bloopers reels in the meantime. But yeah, give us a little break. Let us get a few back in the can, and then we'll come back stronger than ever next time, I think.
Good job, Bobby.
All right.
Well done, mate.
And other than that, stay safe out there. Keep puzzling. And we'll see you in about 6 weeks.